Welcome back. You're watching Trading Calls live on ET now. Shankar Sharma of First Global joins us, but before I go to him, let me just take the clock back. Let me take the clock back exactly a year ago, because 1 year ago, Shankar Sharma on ET now had made 3 big calls, and his 3 big calls were fall of China and rise of India. Sensex will go to 20,000, it's almost there, and JP Associates could be a big winner, and JP Associates this year is up more than 70%. That makes JP Associates the best performing Nifty stock for this year. Shankar, you got all your big calls right. My compliments, congratulations. But your big calls for 2012 are passé now. Aisha, me and all our viewers are now curious to know your big calls for 2013.
For that, you'll have to call me again before the end of the year, because I haven't thought through, how the markets look next year. So yeah, we'll need to meet once again.
What do you make of the current environment? I mean, this year has been an extraordinary year for Indian markets. Brazil is in problem, China is slowing down, Russia has problem of plenty, and India is the only market which is outperforming.
Yeah, it's that, again, not to belabor a point, but if you go back to early this year, around January or something, the consensus was that overweight China, underweight India. There is something called policy paralysis in India. I don't know what that means, because the government seems to be doing everything right for who the main voters. If you go back to early this year, around January or something, the consensus was that overweight China, underweight India. There is something called policy paralysis in India. I don't know what that means, because the government seems to be doing everything right for who the main voters are. But that became a fashionable term, and every broker, who had an NSE membership started talking about it. Every economist started talking about it, and that became like the narrative of the year. And strangely enough, despite all the policy paralysis, India's consumption story seems to be alive and kicking. And as far as the market is concerned, I think that is paying a lot of attention to the consumption themes in India. So, and China obviously, despite all the policy unparalysis, seems to have had a terrible year on the macro as well on the market fronts. So we made a call sometime the first quarter this year, saying that India would be, this is a breakaway year for India. From its peer group, if you can put it there, within the BRIC pack, that India's performance will be vastly superior to that of the BRIC pack. And if you look at the evidence in terms of the data now, right now, India has had an absolutely stunning year. This was a difficult year still on the back of 2011 for global equities. But within that context, to be up whatever 25–30%, we don't know how we end. Maybe we are up like 35% also, by the time the year draws to an end. In light of how the other BRIC pack markets have performed, it's just an extraordinary breakout that India has displayed versus its peer group and other emerging markets. So I suspect that this is a secular breakout for India versus its peer group, and I would hold the hope that this will continue in 2013 as well.